They swam to China.
This is Harry J. Anslinger, Commissioner of the Federal Bureau of Narcotics.
The despicable, dope-peddling vulture who preys on the weakness of his fellow man.
New and deadly menace lurking behind closed doors. Marijuana, the burning weed with its roots in hell.
I began the meeting by making this statement, which I think needs to be made to the nation. America's public enemy number one in the United States is drug abuse.
We knew we couldn't make it illegal to be either against the war or black. But by getting the public to associate the hippies with marijuana and blacks with heroin, and then criminalizing both heavily, we could disrupt those communities. We could arrest their leaders, raid their homes, break up their meetings, and vilify them night after night on the evening news. Did we know we were lying about the drugs? Of course we did.
I joined the military in 2010, January 10th, 2010. My job title, it's long, it's the High Mobility Artillery Rocket Systems crew member. Yeah, so I did that for about 4.5 years, and I did a tour overseas. I got hurt and was sent home, and so I had to have some reconstructive shoulder surgery done, so that's why I'm out now. I have three holes in my shoulder where they went in, and I tore my labrum completely. I tore my rotator cuff, and like a spider fractured the humeral head. And so it was not very fun. I have, I believe, 5 or 6 anchors in my shoulder now, holding it all together. So all of a sudden my Xanax got cut off, my Amy got cut off, because they figured there was other routes we could look, and so they prescribed other medication. So I went through 7 or 8 different medications in about a year time frame. And it got to a point where I told my doctor through the VA, I was like, I don't like how this is making me feel. I don't feel any better. It's not doing anything for me. I just don't feel anything. She's like, you ever tried smoking weed? And I said, yeah, I do it every day. And she's like, does it help? I'm like, absolutely. She's like, well, this is not an official recommendation, but if it helps, you should probably just continue to do that.
My husband and I were trying to have children, and we're having major fertility issues. Turned out I had a lot of diseases. I had endometriosis, PCOS, and the bad one was complex endometrial hyperplasia, which leads to cancer. So at the age of 30, we decided to go ahead and just have a total hysterectomy. And when I woke up from the surgery, I knew something was wrong. I hurt. I tried my primary care doctor, and he said no. I then went to my pain specialist doctor, and he said no. I went to my neurologist, and he said no. So I had to look elsewhere for it, even though my pain doctor knew I was taking it, knew it was working, but he was bound by the hospital. He couldn't do anything about it. So, I mean, I always thought that too. I had never smoked still. I was 34, so I just thought that was either people did it at parties or whatever. Not my thing. So, like, I think I'm a good example of it. Is like, look how much it's helped me. If you look at like my life before, and even then on opiates, and you look at it now, like, I can live life again.
We're not against the legalization of medical marijuana in the state of Missouri. We do have concerns about driving under the influence, of course, just like with alcohol. You know, alcohol is legal, but people still drive under the influence, so that is a concern of ours. The other thing that you got to worry about too is people lace marijuana with different stuff. So if you have somebody that is growing marijuana and they're cultivating it to use for the medical marijuana, what happens whenever they start lacing it with fentanyl or meth? Or they start putting something in it that they're not supposed to, because who's going to come out to your house and regulate that? So that's kind of a concern that we have right now with it, not knowing how things are going to happen.
The problem that I have seen is, as in so many areas, the public sentiment way outstrips the science. We are looking at a drug that we don't really completely understand. We've researched 2 out of the literally hundreds of psychoactive compounds in the marijuana plant, and that doesn't even start into the terpenes, and think that we understand what there is. And so we also have had a huge problem over the years that much of the illicit marijuana is contaminated. The drug dealers do not hesitate to add other adulterants to it in an attempt to capture a bigger piece of the market because they give a more intense high. Well, yeah, they didn't just give you THC, they gave you PCP or LSD or something else as a little side attraction to the drug that they were peddling. And that has complicated the issue tremendously as well. Then we come down to the CBD, and there are all sorts of claims being made that CBD will help this and that and the next thing, and you'll see folks that just think it is the best thing since supper, and other folks say, well, I tried it and it didn't do anything for me at all. And we don't have the studies to tell the difference. It's a real frustration.
Well, I've been a lifelong cannabis user, but I didn't even know what CBD was when the store was opening here. I worked next door, so I saw the construction going on, and I was like, what are they doing over there? And some of the girls were like, well, they're selling CBD oil, and I didn't even know what it was, like I said, and I was very skeptical about the benefit of it. But I came over here to meet Jamie and get a free sample, and that day I felt a lot more relaxed and less likely to, I don't know, get agitated at work, and just noticed a difference, I guess, in my attitude, and started coming over here more often to buy things and get samples, and recognizing that it was giving me relief from anxiety and pain that I had, but that I didn't feel stoned when I was taking it. So I really liked that. I mean, I do think that there's still going to be a market for CBD products when the full spectrum of products become available. I've heard of other cities where CBD stores are still thriving. Not everybody needs the THC part of it to relieve the symptoms that they have. And also, unfortunately, there's a lot of companies out there that won't allow their employees to have any THC. And so CBD offers a lot of benefit without that compound. So we've been working on developing some new product lines, trying to fill some niches that we see a need for, especially maybe some CBD products that are specialized for women.
Have you ever met that funny reefer man? Reefer man! Oh, that funny reefer man. Reefer man. He smokes a reefer, he gets high, then he flies to the sky. That funny reefer